Michigan is part of a great tradition of public higher education. Public officials said, we're going to do this with money that comes from the society. We have decided to make this a great priority.
When I teach this, I tell my students, I show them a picture of this crop seed painting where there are cows grazing right near the campus, and there are 6 or 7 buildings. It's just so tiny and also so remote. And so my question is, how does this campus, when you see it in 1855, by 1900 become one of the most important universities in the nation? What happens?
One of the first acts of the state of Michigan was to establish a university so that, quote, Michigan boys would not go elsewhere. And as someone who went to school here as an undergraduate and medical school, I loved the fact that it was open to all.
The idea has always been that we could be first rate in everything. And that kind of attitude, I think, has permeated the university in a very positive way.
In 1787, a man named Thomas Jefferson wrote the following: "Religion, morality, and knowledge being necessary to good government and the happiness of mankind, schools and the means of education shall forever be encouraged." And how important are those words? Well, go on State Street, look above those pillars at Angell Hall. They're engraved in big letters across that mantle of the biggest classroom building in Ann Arbor. That's how important it is, because without those words, U of M does not exist. Without those words, public education in the U.S. does not exist as we know it.
The idea is to serve society through education and through research that achieves new levels of understanding. I think Jefferson, brilliant in most every way, had the forethought, and his words are often used, to capture the notion that we can better ourselves through research and teaching.
So you've got Augustus Woodward, who was appointed the territorial judge of the Michigan Territory by his friend Thomas Jefferson. You've got Gabriel Richard, who is a French Catholic priest. And you have John Monteith, who is a minister. There are 3 very different guys, but they all believe in education of one sort or another. That's the foundation of the University of Michigan. Started in 1817.
In 1837, it moved to Ann Arbor and was a kind of a part of this whole idea of what Michigan would be as a state and what the state was supposed to do to its population.
You see, the Ivies are established even before, right, before the Revolution. And that is much more of an aristocratic kind of view of the world, where, you educate the upper classes, the elite, and they'll run society. And a democratic society needed democratic institutions, and education is the great equalizer. And Michigan at the forefront of that movement.
We've always had this ethos that we are a public university, and we're proud of it. I was very proud of the fact that early on in our history we admitted women. We had no quotas. We admitted people from different racial and ethnic backgrounds. This is part of who we are, and I would never want to give that up. It's this uncommon education for the common man.
The uncommon education for the common man is a value that really is expounded by the university. It's the basis of the university, especially in the 19th century, when James B. Angell was here setting the foundation for the university. To be accessible to all, that was a really important virtue. And it still resounds here. While that quote may not be literally stated by President Angell, it's very essential to the university. It's kind of the heart of the university.
The University of Michigan should be a place for the poor, for the rich, for the farmer, for the banker's son, and for the banker's daughter, because when Angell was president, the university had started to admit women. He wanted this to be a place students of all backgrounds can come and receive an exemplary education.
James B. Angell has the intelligence and the courage to bring to Michigan some fairly high-powered people who, in their own worlds, were somewhat controversial. One was Henry Carter Adams, an economist who was concerned about the disparities in wealth and the implications of the industrial transformation, urban transformation of the nation, and thought about new ways of thinking about that. Another person who was equally courageous was John Dewey, one of the great intellectuals in American history. He really began his career here at Michigan, was here for I think 12 years.
He got involved in education, the idea of reform, and what change that could be done by the university. And so that was very important for him here, and then he embodied the idea that the social institutions could be reformed through education. The idea that the laboratory research, the scientific method, is really at the heart of the educational experience.
An uncommon education is a deeply responsive education. How it can transform a nation, how it can transform society, that really, I think that the kind of uncommonness is really embodied in that.
The faculty that you meet at Michigan is first rate, and the chance to work with somebody on the cutting edge is not a rare experience. I mean, you look around you, your teachers are major players.
Whatever you're interested in, anything in the world, you can walk across the street, you can talk to an international expert in that field who will actually help you. This is not how the rest of the world works. It's a magical place what you're trying to explore. The question is, what do you want to do? And this is the place where you can do it.
Most freshmen, when they arrive, don't really know what they want to do. By exploring a lot of different areas in their first or second year, that gives them a chance to figure out, I'm interested in this, I'm good at this is what I want to do.
As Mark Twain said, there are really two very important days in your life. Number one, the day that you were born, and number two, the day you find out why. And for many people, Michigan is the place where people find out why.
It's open to everyone, and you have people from the music school, and you have people from engineering and other places, and people from the social and behavioral sciences, all kind of interacting with each other.
A student wandering through the campus can't help but be aware that even though I might be a French major, that friends of mine are going over to natural science, or are going to physics and astronomy, or are going to music. The students who do that really do find doors opening in their minds, and they get the most out of what this place has to offer.
This is an opportunity to really branch out and learn new things, new people, new opportunities, and so forth. And so that means that you can have a very broad experience, probably is unique to any other time in your life.
The search for knowledge, the search for truth, and the teaching of the best students with all of this best knowledge that we can gather. That's a pretty amazing thing when you think about it.
When you find something that over history lasts and lasts, that lasts. It's part of what Michigan has always been.
Made possible by the Stanley and Judith Frankel Family Foundation.